Before Star Wars changed the world. Before Jedi, lightsabers, or the Death Star. There was just a boy. A quiet, introverted boy. Living in a small California town. Who wanted to race cars. Not make movies. Not build an empire. Just race. But life had other plans. One near-fatal crash. One wild dream. One rebellion against Hollywood. And one man who refused to give up. This is the story of George Lucas. The man who dreamed of galaxies far, far away. And brought them right into our hearts. George Walton Lucas Jr. was born on May 14, 1944. In Modesto, California. A sleepy, conservative town. With quiet streets and big silences. The kind of place where dreams usually get buried. His father owned a stationery store. He wanted George to take over the family business. But George? He was different. He didn't talk much. He didn't fit in. But he felt everything deeply. He loved comic books. Flash Gordon serials. Race cars. Speed. Adventure. And freedom. He wasn't great at school. But he had imagination. And he had a hunger for something more. Something epic. At 18, George had only one dream. To become a race car driver. He spent his teenage years building and modifying cars. He lived for the adrenaline. For the sound of engines. For the smell of fuel. Until one day. Everything stopped. June 12, 1962. Just 3 days before graduation. George was speeding home in his Fiat Bianchina. Suddenly, another car hit him broadside. His tiny car flipped multiple times. The seat belt snapped. He was thrown out, just before the car wrapped around a tree. He was bleeding. Broken. Barely breathing. Doctors said. He shouldn't have survived. But he did. And something inside him changed. Lying in that hospital bed, Lucas realized racing wasn't his path. If he was going to die young, he wanted to die creating something timeless. After the crash, Lucas turned to art. To photography. To motion. To stories. He enrolled in the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts. It was the 1960s. The age of rebellion. And George? He fit right in. But he didn't just want to make movies. He wanted to reinvent them. He admired abstract filmmaking. Experimental editing. European cinema. He didn't want to follow the Hollywood formula, he wanted to break it. One of his student films, THX 1138, for EB, stunned his professors. It was cold. Futuristic. Bold. Unlike anything else. And it became the seed for his first feature film. He caught the eye of Francis Ford Coppola. Together, they dreamed of shaking the system. They formed American Zoetrope. A filmmaker-run company to defy the studios. But Hollywood didn't care about rebels. They laughed them off. Dismissed their dreams. Still, George didn't stop. In 1971, Lucas made THX 1138 into a full feature. But it bombed. Too weird. Too dystopian. Too cold. Studios backed off. Money dried up. Everyone said, George Lucas is not made for Hollywood. But George had another idea. One even crazier. A space opera. With laser swords. Aliens. Spaceships. And a dark villain in a black mask. Star Wars. He pitched it everywhere. Studios said, it's childish. It's too expensive. No one wants this. Only one studio, 20th Century Fox, said yes. But even they thought it would fail. Lucas didn't care. He poured his soul into it. He took a smaller paycheck. In exchange for something everyone thought was worthless. the merchandising rights. That single move would change his life forever. But during production, everything went wrong. Star Wars was a nightmare to shoot. The desert scenes in Tunisia were hit by sandstorms. The crew was frustrated. The cast thought the script was silly. The budget was tight. George started having panic attacks. Severe chest pains. He thought he was dying. He was only 32. But the pressure was crushing. Even after the film was finished, executives thought it would flop. Fox gave it a limited release. Just 32 theaters. No faith. No marketing. On May 25, 1977, the world finally saw Star Wars. And then, something magical happened. Within hours, theaters were packed. Within days, lines wrapped around entire city blocks. Within weeks, Star Wars became a global phenomenon. Kids held plastic lightsabers. Adults returned again and again. Theaters ran the film for months. It earned over $775 million worldwide. More than that, it started a movement. A universe. A force. George Lucas, the outsider, was now the most powerful filmmaker on Earth. And he did it without Hollywood. He used his merchandising deal to fund his own projects. No studios. No interference. Just vision. He created Industrial Light and Magic, the special effects company that would revolutionize cinema. He laid the foundation for Pixar. He invented nonlinear editing systems. He changed how sound was recorded and mixed. He didn't just make movies. He changed how movies were made.